live. Here he is, the big dog. Let's go, baby! Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 How you doing?
Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like Dale McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
Get off my lawn.
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
Welcome in to the Thom Abraham Show. Chad Gwathney, Coach Grizz, hosting it alongside Captain Cool John Abraham as he's joining us once again in the studio. You can see him on the video. Behind the glass, you can't see him on the video. I'm sorry, I don't have the other camera. But Bailey, Crash, Lowry, how you doing, guys? You guys all right this morning? Oh, my bad. I turned your mic on.
You gotta turn your mic on.
I can act like I know what I'm doing.
I was just like looking at you, just like sitting here. Yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm doing good. Yeah, just good. How about you, Bailey?
Doing all right.
Yeah,
we're good. Had a little bit of a late night though, but
yeah, same.
No partying?
Right.
No partying?
Nah, just kind of stayed up too late watching TV.
Yeah, that's usually how it is.
That'll happen. I think it's like a trance. Like you just sit there and constantly do it. Like it's just like you try to go to sleep. Like I can go to sleep with like a TV on or a radio on or something like that. But like you get in this like trance where you're like watching a show or something you've never seen before, or like maybe you're just watching a show that you really like and you're just binge watching it or whatever, and then you just constantly stay up even later, and it like makes you want to get up later too. And you're just like, I should not be walking around. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I've been watching Naruto.
No, exactly. I mean, I played video games yesterday. I was playing some NHL hockey, and the Tennessee Mutts. We were going off against the Avalanche and stuff.
Mutts, I like that.
But yeah, we were playing, and it got later and later. We play. It's me and John. All right, we play as the Tennessee Mutts. We made this team, and then we add on all of our family members and friends and stuff. So we got the big dog riding around on skates and stuff, looking like his actual hockey self he used to look like back in the 80s or whatever. We played that, and we just keep playing games, and every single time we're like, another one. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, I should go to bed, but I want to beat the Avalanche twice tonight. So yeah, that's how my night went. So,
I know, that's the kind of mentality that'll make sure you stay up late. Because especially you can't go out on a loss no matter what you're playing. No, you can't go out losing.
Yeah, I do that a lot of times too when I play a game. I'm like one more game. It's always one more game, and then it's just like you win like 3 more, and you're like, all right, one more game. Yeah. And then you win the 4th, and you're like, and then you lose, and you're like, nah, one more game. And then it ends up being 17 games later. But it's 4 in the morning.
I think we lost to the Rangers, and then we were like, we gotta play another one. It was already like 1:40. It literally was 1:40. I was like, I gotta go to bed, but you know what? I was able to do it yesterday. I played 3 games. I was up until like 2 o'clock, so I was just like, I'll just do it again. I gotta be in Huntsville at 10 o'clock in the morning, but whatever. But yeah, it was a fun night though. We made sure we won the games.
Yeah, that's good. That's good, man. I'm glad you guys are doing good. Thank you for everybody listening in. Of course, we're gonna take over this show today, and I believe we're just gonna take off tomorrow. I might do a best of Thom Abraham show, and then just take the rest of the week off for July 4th. I will not be here next week, I believe. I'm going to take the whole week off. I've been rewarded that, I guess. So I'm going to take that whole week off next week. I'm still going to be in town, probably a staycation or something like that, because I already went out the weekend before. So I will be around if anybody needs me. But, getting much needed rest. So it's going to be fun. It'll be a lot of hanging out with the dog and a lot of trash panning games, too. So we're going to have a lot of stuff going on. We also have... like I said, they have a crawfish bowl going on Saturday, and looking forward to that as well. But yeah, they're gonna come back this next week, and it's actually dog night, so I might actually take the dog out on Wednesday night too.
It is Wednesday.
To go around the stadium a little bit. Had to make sure last time, because last time I said I think it was like last time we said something about dog week or dog night. It was dog week or whatever. It wasn't. It was education day. It was the day of the education day.
Yeah.
So Lindsay over there, she said, she was like, no. I saw her, outside the stadium, and she's like, no, wait, no, don't. She's like, it's not this week. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I was like, I'm not trying to tell everybody it's dog night and you just show up on a Wednesday night with your dog, you know.
Well, I mean, that's what it usually is on Wednesday.
Day, and it was like 11 or whatever. So.
Yeah, no, I was at that game. It was
Absolutely
there were
hot.
a lot of kids.
I heard it was absolutely hot on that.
It was very hot, and it was pretty much a sellout. I think we had 2,000 kids.
See, and
from,
that's the
like,
thing.
schools.
And that's the weird thing about it, especially last year. It was like every year or every day that we had dog day, it rained. It would rain or it would storm and it would be delayed or whatever. And I think it's been on par so far, but I think there's only been one where it rained.
On dog night or
on
just
dog,
okay?
On dog night,
yeah.
I'm talking about dog night specifically. Like it was every night we gave away tickets. It was like, it just ended up like showing up rain.
So as you guys know, I
canceled.
I work for the Trash Pandas as well. I do promotions for them. But yeah, I do actually.
Nice.
But yeah, it's the worst whenever you see like thousands of people going through the gates and stuff, and we're handing out all these like little presents they get when they come through, and then you see those clouds rolling, and everybody starts speculating. They start talking to each other, whispering, and then a little bit of rain starts coming down. Everybody starts retreating under the the concourse, and then it stops raining, and then it starts pouring down, and we've had some bad rain delays, and came out like. We one day it stopped at the third inning, bottom of the third or the top of the third, and it was a 2-hour delay, and we started the game back up at 9:30.
Very nice.
Yeah, we weren't out of there until like 12.
Yeah. Sometimes that's the thing. I mean, if you can get the game back on it, I'd rather do it that night than have to maybe do a doubleheader.
Yeah.
A lot of times you're not going to get a whole lot of fans for that first game.
Yeah.
And then I guess it's like it kind of stinks. It's kind of hard on the players to be delayed so long and then maybe get back and resume, but then you don't, then you have to get back up earlier in the morning because they have a routine.
Yeah.
Especially, a lot of those guys have a lot of that. So if you do want to go out to the Crawfish Bowl this weekend, it starts at 4:00. I think pre-sale tickets started on the 25th. The cost is $30 to include a crawfish platter. And you can also, a lot of the events that are going on, there's contests that will take place to enter. You can do crawfish eating, hot dog eating, watermelon eating, sack races, and a hula hoop contest.
Sack races.
Which one do you think you could do really well? Could you hula hoop contest, or could you hot dog eat?
So I like to eat a good glizzy.
I don't know if I could eat a bunch of crawfish like fast.
No,
I can barely eat.
I
mean, I just want to go for the experience, and I like crawfish, but I don't want to eat it fast.
So I've never really been amazing at hula hooping. How about you guys?
I can get a couple, but I'm too. I tacked on a lot of lbs now,
Yeah.
so I don't. I attacked on a lot of mass, so I don't know if I can really do it as well anymore.
I don't know. I don't know if I could either. I've actually kind of the opposite. I've lost too much to the point where it sounds like as the thing's hitting my ribs, it would sound like a xylophone.
It's just chains clanking around, ding ding ding. Yeah. So I think out of all of those though, probably the sack race. Sack race, I would fly. I'm good at hopping.
Bunny rabbit.
Be quick with it.
Watermelon eating. I mean, that's the thing about watermelon. That seems like pretty easy because like watermelon is like it's pretty soft that you're just be like you could just put your face on it and just it would dissolve.
Exactly. Yeah. So only if everybody could see what I like how people do it, but they literally just go. They just go back and forth.
Yeah,
back and forth.
Literally like in the cartoons.
Yeah. And then they spit out all the seeds.
Dude, I could not do. I don't know if I could eat that quick. I couldn't do the hot dog eating contest because like that's the thing about the hot dog eating contest. You got to do the bread too.
Their hot dogs are good though.
That is true. That ballpark hot dogs though I can scarf down like not in like under a minute or under whatever time frame or whatever.
Have you ever had their Kaneka dogs?
Yes.
Those
Kaneka dogs.
The Kaneka dogs. Yeah, I didn't know.
Have you had the turkey leg yet?
No, I haven't.
The
Kaneka dog is a sausage. It's pretty much just a sausage hot dog, which I didn't get to eat it with the bun. Some dude in the kitchen just like handed me one because I didn't know what it was, and then I ate it. No bun.
Yeah.
And it was pretty tasty. And then I went out and I hawked some more hot dogs at people, which it's a good fun job. Tips included.
Because I have never heard of that. And then you said you could just get a turkey leg.
You can get a turkey leg. You can get like burgers with Cheetos on them. You can get like fancy foods. They had shrimp and grits and stuff. When I went to that, like it was like preseason, food breakdown or whatever. That was pretty cool. It was like, come on, media, you get a free meal. It was like, I didn't even care about the free meal. I just wanted to see all what they had because like there were so many like different options like that were just insanely
Just
crazy.
random,
Like,
yeah.
just so random for a ballpark. But that's the thing about ballparks is what's so catchy is you get
Exactly.
you get some of that stuff. So like the what was it oh man, it's called the dumpster.
Yeah. They just throw a bunch of crap.
Yeah, where it's like fries and chili, and it's on like a quesadilla or something like that. It's like a wrap. It's like the dumpster wrap.
Yeah.
That thing's pretty good. It's got 2 hot dogs, some fries.
They
chili.
surprised me with their food's tasting really well. Like some is just you wouldn't imagine.
You can get champies. I mean, there's so many other types of options. I mean, they're starting to put more food trucks out there too, which is really cool. And that's what I like about the ballpark is being able to walk around. Like if you just have like a standing only ticket, you can kind of walk around and see all that's
exactly
on the ballpark. That's why I like going to the big ballparks and have to.
Yeah, $8 for just like the cheapest ticket.
Yeah,
you can go to a whole game. You don't even have to sit down once.
No, you just walk around. And if you get on the right field terrace, there's plenty of places to sit up there because those aren't ticketed seats.
Exactly. Yeah.
So.
And we're doing the hawking now, which going up and down the aisles. Cold beer. I'm doing that. Which let me tell you, I've gotten a few reps in that, and you really just take on like every other hawker
made me jump
in
right there.
all existence. You just like cold beer here. Oh, we got Gatorade. Stay hydrated.
I feel like it's the 20s all over.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Park,
I should be giving out a newspaper as
like
well.
We're up north.
Yeah, and some chewing gum, some
we're
big
gonna have
chew.
a lot of New York accents down in.
Come get your nourishment.
What was that? That was your best New York.
Yeah, I can't do it.
No, that was his hawking voice.
I'm too southern. For
hot
that.
dogs here.
We got the hot dog.
I'm walking here. just someone gets in your way, little kid. I'm walking here. You want a hot dog?
He's wearing that.
I went a little Boston on that one.
That little hat, those flat hats. I forgot what they're called. What are they called? Not what it. Not a pompadour.
Are you thinking of fedoras?
A fedora?
Maybe a fedora.
Oh yeah, like fancy fedora.
A flat fedora,
I don't know if I'd buy a hot dog from you if you were wearing a.
Yeah, I might actually try that. I might get more tips.
Walk around with a nice hat.
Yeah, thanks. I also have nice hot dog glizzies here.
So anyway, there's a lot of activities going on. There's a 30-degree radical obstacle course, rocket combo bounce house. This is all obviously for the kids. There's top toss, can jam, whatever that is. Giant kick croquet, shuffleboard. Ooh, shuffleboard. There we go. Down
shuffleboard. I didn't know 80-year-olds would be there.
And the occasional 30-year-old will play some shuffleboard.
Right? No, can jam.
And then if you don't want, I don't even know what that is. If you do not want the crawfish, there's other options. You got food trucks. There's the hippie camper. I think it's hippie camper. Is it hippie camper? I think that's what they call it. Mac and snacks, Thai food truck, Kona Ice, Bill's Lemonade.
They're having everything out there.
That's pretty cool.
You don't
just have to have the crawfish. So you can get some other stuff too.
Well, it's a whole party going on.
Of course, they're gonna be taking on the first home game will be July 4th, taking on the Chattanooga Lookouts at 6:35, and like we said before, you got Dog Day on Wednesday. And then, speaking of a game that you can hear on our air, the Atlanta Braves last night got the win over the Philadelphia Phillies 4-1. Kyle Wright pitched 7 innings, 4 Ks and 3 walks, and only 1 earned run. Will Smith came in and actually produced the save. That was amazing. I literally pull my hair out every time I watch that guy walk onto the mound.
Yeah. I think you heard what you were saying about him.
He did. No, seriously. He walked out and he was like, "There's this guy in Huntsville, Alabama that just dogs me every single time." Don't get me wrong. I said some nice things yesterday about him. Okay, the most that I could. But him coming in last night was huge. Two strikeouts. Jesse Chavez though, coming in for an inning and getting 3 straight Ks. That's pretty sweet. So I mean that's something huge right there that you can see outside of the guys that they are missing, that they are having some guys play some key roles. And Jesse Chavez was that huge trade. I know Steve Moulton's probably listening. Jesse Chavez was in that huge trade for one of our favorites. So he's definitely thinking about that. But if I'm looking into this right now, they're talking about Kyle Wright. And we all know Kyle Wright.
Yeah.
And Kyle Wright is that local guy, really good guy. But he's been literally one of the best. And I think it says a lot when he has literally been one of the best pitchers who has posted a 3.03 ERA through the first 15 starts this season. And he has completed at least 6 innings 11 times. And it's a guy that when we talk about baseball, that you can put longer into innings, and especially with the with the addition of the DH and everything like that, that it's making it a lot harder for pitchers to probably stay out there longer because you got heavier at bats, or you got guys that can probably hit off of a guy that, he might be new to the league, or he might be a grizzled veteran that you kind of you've known from the past and that you can kind of key up on. But I think he's done absolutely amazing since he's been in there. I mean, to be able to come in to make the World Series roster, to literally the only 3 batters he faced in Game 2, and then he had a key 4-game win coming out of the bullpen with the bases loaded. I mean, Kyle Wright's been absolutely huge, and to have a guy like that local, it's just got to be absolutely tremendous and special. A guy coming from Buckhorn, and obviously everyone knows his dad, a great coach, and he's helped the Braves, get to literally, I think they've tied the franchise record for the most wins in a month. So in the month of June, especially, so 21 wins. So I think it's either 1 or 2 more they'll break the record. So that's absolutely they hadn't seen that since 1966. So I mean, but it is what it is, and I really do like this team. I really like the way the direction's going. I understand that we talk about what happened to Freddie Freeman and everything like that, and there was an issue with his agent. He fired his agent, and it's really sad to see. But I like Matt Olson. He had 2 doubles last night. He's got 2 home runs as well in these 2 games against the Phillies alone. He's been a nice replacement, and he's younger. It looks terrible for Freddie Freeman. I feel bad for Freddie Freeman. I've said some things that I regret saying. Maybe he didn't want to be a Brave. Maybe he did want to be a Brave. I don't know. I don't know that whole situation. It's all he said, she said. So at the end of the day, like, I'm happy for him that he won what he did. Now he's on. So we don't have to talk about it anymore. But when I'm talking about a guy like Kyle Wright that has been like a huge piece and an already good rotation, and we don't know what's going to happen with Mike Soroka, with Kyle Wright over here, I mean, he's obviously the ace. You got Max Fried. I think they're 1-2, right? And then you don't know what you're going to do with Ian Anderson, and you don't know what you're going to do with Spencer Strider. I hope they keep Spencer Strider. Heavy. Oh yeah, just for the mustache.
Just alone. For the mustache.
But I hope they keep him. But Kyle Wright's been absolutely great, and like I said before, led the Braves to a win last night, 4-1. You can hear the Braves tonight right after the drive with not Wes and Steve, but they will be Steve Moulton and Drew DeArmond as they will be live from Baumhauer's Victory Grill. I didn't hear. Oh, that's in news. I thought that was me for a second. I saw it flashing over here. The Braves are going to take on the Phillies tonight at 5:05. You probably will be able to hear it right after. It's going to be joint in progress right after. I don't know how long they're probably going to go, an hour 45, maybe the full 2 hours. Not really sure, but I'm sure you're going to be able to listen to that right after. If not, you're going to be able to hear it on our app as well. So please check out the tonight as Ian Anderson, 6-4 with a 4.6 ERA, takes on Aaron Nola with a 4-5 record, 2.98 ERA. Well, we also have a guest today. I know it's a crazy 1 hour, but we also have a guest today because we have everything actually scheduled. Yeah, it's crazy. But we do have Steve Moulton. We have 2 M's, S&M. Steve Merrill from Wager Talk and ProSportsInfo.com. He's going to join us here in just a second after we go to a break. But we're going to ask him about basically the latest news, too. It seems like it's just an Atlanta day. But the Atlanta Hawks, trade a couple of picks for DeJounte Murray as literally it becomes one of the best combos. I mean, right now, 2 of the top 5 or 2 of the only 5 players last year that, averaged 20 points a game and had 8 assists. So that's going to be huge for the Hawks. They didn't have to give a whole lot for him. I want to ask him about the odds that we're going to open up too, as Atlanta is a plus 4,000 to win the NBA championship after he has been added to the roster. And then there are plus 2,000 odds in the Eastern Conference, or to win the Eastern Conference. So behind only the Celtics, Bucks, Nets, Heat, and 76ers. So that was like a huge jump for the Atlanta Hawks when, basically you probably would have been in like the middle tier to the bottom. Now you're in like the top 6. Like you're going to be one of the top 6 teams that could end up winning the East, if not winning the whole thing. So we need to go to a break. On the other side, we're going to talk to Steve Merrill from Wager Talk and ProSportsInfo.com. Going to ask him about some baseball odds and also ask him about what's the latest around NASCAR this weekend. That's right here on the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Heads up, sports bettors. Right now you can try VSiN All Access free for 30 days with no credit card required. Visit vsin.com/free month to sign up now.
PGA Tour today is round one of the John Deere Classic at TPC Deer Run in Illinois. Webb Simpson is the favorite at plus 1,100. Adam Hadwin at plus 1,800. Saeed Theegala is plus 2,200. Denny McCarthy 2,500. And Jason Day plus 2,600. Lucas Glover is the tournament's defending champion. The NASCAR Cup Series going road course racing on Sunday at Road America in Wisconsin. Quick Trip 250. Chase Elliott, the defending champion, the favorite at plus 500. Kyle Larson plus 600. Ross Chastain plus 850. For vsin.com, I'm Tony Desiri, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
Brooks & Collier have been serving North Alabama for the past 76 years, and going on now is the biggest 4th of July sales event ever. Save on a large selection of patio umbrellas, furniture, and grills like the world's best smoker and grill, the Big Green Egg. Brooks & Collier is partnered with Synchrony Bank and now offered deferred interest for 12 months. So make your backyard more comfortable this summer and save at the Brooks & Collier 4th of July sales event, 813 Meridian Street and at brooksandcollier.com.
Did you know that your car, truck, or SUV may be worth over 30 or 40% more than it was last year? It's true. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and we'd love your trade-in for a personalized custom factory order on a 2022 Explorer, Expedition, Ranger, or F. We interrupt this message to announce our $1,000 appreciation cash reward. Attention all active military, reservists, retirees, and all veterans, plus first responders, police, fire department, EMTs, and medical professionals. In appreciation for making Huntsville the great city it is, you'll receive a $1,000 exclusive reward in addition to any public offers on most all 22 Fords. So please come see us today. Our Ford Gold certified or low mileage, gently used vehicles with great warranties. At Woody Anderson Ford, whether it's a new order or a pre-owned, we promise to always do the right thing. Corner of Jordan and Sparkman, hope to see you soon.
This is Wes Neighbors with Philip with Eagle Insulation, and we have an announcement to make.
Yes, Wes, we are now Eagle Masonry and Insulation. Still a place to call for your installation needs, but now we offer masonry services.
What kind of masonry projects can you handle?
Wes, no job is too big, no job is too small. We can do renovations, new construction, outdoor fireplaces, fire pits, brick landscape borders.
Well, when you came out to my house, you did both the insulation and masonry at the same time. You guys did rock for me, you did brick for me, and you insulated my house. That's usually done at the same time that you're building a house.
Absolutely. It really capitalizes on two services you need at the same time, and you can get one company to handle both of those.
Philip with Eagle Insulation will come out, do your installation. He'll do your masonry. They do a great job. They guarantee your work. Check out more online at insulatewitheagle.com. and schedule your free examination today. 256-755-1556.
Thanks, Wes.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You know, you'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. more important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us, too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny to mostly cloudy sky this afternoon. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are possible across all of North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee, especially through the heart of the afternoon, early into the evening. Some of those thunderstorms could pack a bit of a punch, some heavy rain, some gusty winds, and some frequent lightning. Otherwise, temperatures climbing into the upper 80s and lower 90s, dropping into the upper 60s, lower 70s as we head into the overnight. We're essentially going to repeat this process as we head into the final day of the work week and the beginning of a long weekend. Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Online at 977ESPN.com.
Stream them online.
Call in.
It's an important job, and it's an vital organization.
Tweet in and join in. We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Welcome into the Thom Abraham Show. I really had to. It's Thursday, so I had to do a Throwback Thursday music just for the beginning. We're still going to have the Sweet Home Alabama to close out the show, of course, because we have to. But yeah, I got a correction from Steve Moulton. It's only 1 hour tonight from Baumhower's tonight, so you will be able to listen to the drive from 5 to 6, and then you'll be able to hear the rest of the Atlanta Braves tonight as they take on the Philadelphia Phillies. And what better way to talk some baseball odds, to talk some NASCAR odds, and probably some other stuff too, just because of the latest NBA stuff been going around, a lot of the trades, a lot of the deals, and a lot of the workings around there. To have Steve Merrill from Wager Talk and ProSportsInfo.com. Steve, come on in, man. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, Chad? How you doing, man?
I'm doing okay. Tom's not here, so we're trying not to totally crash and burn, but we're doing all right.
You can hold up fine without Tom. I'm confident in you.
I appreciate it, brother. So how's everything going with you? Basically, I wanted to ask you one little NBA nugget. I know there's a lot of stuff going around, and then we'll get into some baseball, and then we'll get into some NASCAR, because I'm not big on the NASCAR like Tom is, so I can't ask you all the good questions, but I can ask you the right ones. So I kind of wanted to ask you a little bit of what's going on in the NBA world, and especially a few of us around here, some Atlanta Hawk fans. We're so close to Atlanta. With the news of DeJounte Murray coming over to the Atlanta Hawks for some picks and Gallinari. What are your thoughts on that? And I saw also there were some odds that it changed to plus 4,000 to win the title and then plus 2,000 to win the Eastern Conference Finals. What are your thoughts on the Atlanta Hawks and what they did?
Yeah, I mean, the Hawks should be one of the contenders. Obviously, the East was very deep this past year. I mean, there were 4 teams within a couple games of the 1 seed. Miami beat out the Bucks and Celtics, and the other contenders there, the Sixers, all by exactly 2 games. The other teams all tied for second. So the Hawks should be in that mix now as well, and they have a superstar. And if you look, Chad, all the teams that have won the NBA title for decades now, not only do they have a superstar, but they basically have a future Hall of Famer. And, in hindsight, maybe that's why we should have realized the Celtics were in trouble, because Tatum is the only guy on that team I guess has Hall of Fame potential. He's obviously nowhere there yet. And Curry is, and even Thompson probably. Trae Young, I think, eventually could get to that level. He obviously has a ways to go still. He's very young, but he has that Curry element to him. And if you get a couple of, role players and a couple pieces like we've seen Golden State do over the years, Atlanta could be very dangerous this season.
Answer me this. When we talk about the Boston Celtics, if Boston had ended up winning that, does Jaylen Brown win the MVP?
Yeah, it's fascinating because when the series began, I told a lot of people, I think Tom and I even talked about it here on the show, that, if you like the Warriors to win the series, instead of laying minus 160, you really should have put at least half, if not all, the play on Curry at minus 115 for MVP, because it was hard to see anybody else stepping up enough to win that series. They didn't have Durant anymore. Iguodala did it at 100 to 1, the first title they won. Yeah. Curry had not won an MVP in the 3 other titles, which is really amazing. So we kind of all knew he was going to get it. I thought the Celtic one was more wide open. Obviously, Tatum and Brown were the 2 favorites, but yet Tatum did not have a good series. And had Boston ended up winning that, I personally would have given it to Curry still. I don't think they would have done that. But, yeah, Tatum or Brown, it was really going to be a toss-up. But then again, in hindsight, that's why they didn't win the series, because they did not have a guy step up and dominate.
Yeah, I just felt like when I was watching those games, obviously, I felt like Jaylen Brown was doing more than enough to carry that team. And I felt like a lot of times Tatum would show up, obviously, in the nights where the rest of the team didn't show up. But I felt like even though Tatum won that MVP, the Eastern Conference Finals MVP, I feel like that he was being carried a lot of times in those moments, but he was making big enough games where he was shooting horribly in the finals, but yet you could clearly tell he was getting carried a lot of times, and there were so many turnovers by the guy too. So it just didn't seem right for me to be like, well, if the Celtics had won this, let's give Tatum the MVP.
Yeah, I think also something else. I wonder about Tatum's shoulder. I think it was game 3 or 4. It was one of the home games. About 2 minutes in, he went out and started rolling the shoulder. I think it was game 3. They came back obviously to win that game pretty easy, but it was really kind of downhill after that for the Celtics. They never won the next 3, obviously, and he never said anything. But I'm also wondering if he was 100% healthy.
Yeah, there was a lot of times I felt the same. There were so many times I felt like he wasn't doing enough. Obviously, when his team was showing up, but then when his team was down, he showed up. But that was literally, I felt like that was the only time that I felt like he showed up. So when I'm looking at moving on from that, when I'm looking at what's going on with James Harden as he declined his $47.3 million option, what does this mean for the Philadelphia 76ers? And is this the kind of a guy that, I get it, he's taking, he's trying to make a more reasonable deal with the 76ers, but is he, just like, with the whole Kyrie Irving situation, and we can ask you about that too, is he worth the headache? And is it something that's really going to get, the 76ers over the mantle?
No, I'm not a Harden believer. I think he's a great offensive player. I've always said he's a defensive liability. And it's not that he can't play defense; he just doesn't. I've seen him turn it on at times. And the old adage, defense wins championships, is true. I think it's a little overrated nowadays because you need offense to get there. But Golden State still played very good defense in the finals. They held Boston below, the low 40% range the majority of those games. And Boston actually played decent D also. But Harden is just a liability. He's not a two-way player, and I also think he's a ball hog. So even though as great as he is offensively, I think it takes away from other players. He's just not a Curry, and you look at how great of a shooter and scorer Curry is. He's not like Harden, though. He can put the points up. He can get others involved still. And, I just feel like Harden's one of those guys that'll never win a championship because he's never going to be able to give up. The only way he's going to win a championship is when he's like 38 years old and hanging on, and he's a sixth man off the bench.
And LeBron's still on the Lakers with his son, and he's with him.
Right, exactly. He's not one of those guys. I'd be spending top 5, top 10 money on, that's for sure.
Now, would you spend? Well, I'll get to your question in just a second. I'm sorry, but would you spend a lot of that money on a Kyrie Irving?
I'm not as against Kyrie Irving. He's a interesting guy, obviously, and I know you obviously have some distractions there, but I don't think he's a long-term distraction. And there again, I think he's a two. Put it this way: you need to have a superstar to win, as we've talked about. I call those ones like Curry, maybe Tatum. Trae Young's a one. A number one. Curry, Irving's a number 2 guy for me. Like he won it with LeBron. He's not going to win a championship in his own. I don't think he's a future Hall of Famer. I honestly believe. The only team I was thinking about was the 04 Pistons that did it. I don't think Rip Hamilton's in the Hall of Fame. Phillips, maybe Chauncey just got in. I'd actually think, if I'm not mistaken. But, they had 4 All-Stars that year on their starters, so that was kind of the rare exception. I don't see Irving as a Hall of Famer. Harden probably is, but I think that's borderline. They're just not the kind of guys who are going to win championships on their own.
Actually, he's still not in the Hall of Fame yet, Chauncey Billups. That's the one thing I think that people will talk about is why hasn't he been in it yet? I don't know if it's the right year. I think it would be the right year eventually, but I don't know why he's not in it yet. But yeah, he definitely should be for sure.
Well, and I'll be honest. He's probably borderline. I think he was Hall of Fame worthy, but he's not a guy that jumps out as like a first ballot Hall of Famer. You look at all these other teams that won: Isaiah Thomas in the late '80s, and then Jordan.
Yeah.
The 2 that Jordan didn't win were Hakeem Olajuwon, and then it's been Kobe, Shaq, LeBron, Nowitzki. These are like no-brainer, unanimous first ballots.
Right.
Curry. So you just got – and Durant. You got to look at guys like that, and there's only a handful of them in the league. I think Trae Young could get there. Maybe Tatum gets there, but they're not there yet.
I feel like if Steve Nash is a Hall of Famer eventually, I think if you could definitely say Trae Young would eventually be a Hall of Famer. Because I feel like he's going to – what?
Yeah, Nash deserves it in a heartbeat, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. Yeah. And I think especially if Trae Young can win an MVP.
Yeah, and Young definitely could win. In fact, I think he probably should have won it this year.
Yeah,
wasn't he? Didn't he lead the league in 2 of the 3 categories?
Right, and he was averaging 28 a game, 28, 29 a game. I believe.
The fact that he wasn't even like the top 2 or 3 discussion made no sense because I probably would have voted for him personally.
Yeah, you got a question?
Yeah, one of the things, like kind of another talk around the NBA, another team making moves is again going to be the Jazz, since they just hired their new head coach to 5 years, who was a former Boston assistant, and now talks are in the trade sphere about moving either Donovan or Gobert. And kind of which one would you see having a bigger impact as a loss, either Gobert or Mitchell?
Yeah, it's interesting because there's so few good big men anymore. And I will say, I look a lot, obviously, when players are in and out of the lineup. That's one of the main reasons I handicap the regular season. It's more about load management, who's ready to play on a given night. The playoffs are a totally different beast. And I love handicapping them both, but I treat them totally different. And I will say the Jazz, when Gobert out of the lineup, they're a much weaker defensive team. They have one without, Donovan Mitchell in there. Mitchell's more of a slashing guy that you have to have nowadays, but there's not a lot of good big guys. And I almost think, the fact that a lot of teams don't have centers anymore, a guy like Gobert is a really interesting weapon. I mean, obviously, if you can keep Mitchell and Gobert together, it's a dangerous 1-2. Denver is in the same situation with Jokic. Obviously, he's more mobile than Gobert down low, but, they get Murray back. Both the Jazz and Nuggets have had some injuries the last couple of years, but remember how good they were in 2020 in the bubble. Those are 2 real play-on teams, in my opinion, if they can get healthy and keep all their guys.
It's actually kind of scary how similar both those teams are, and I actually kind of got to thank that franchise a little bit for them giving us both Gobert and Mitchell in the draft.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, speaking of the draft, I thought the big winner last week, you got to look at a team like Oklahoma City. They They traded 11 for the Knicks. They had the 3 and the 12, or the 2 and the 12. I still think Chet Holmgren is the biggest question mark in the draft. He could definitely be one of those number 2 picks that's a complete flop. But he also could be incredibly good. He's just very skinny right now, and I just don't know if you fix that or not. But obviously you could. He's got the talent, though. And, I like having multiple draft picks. The New York Jets did that very well in the NFL this year. I thought Oklahoma City was a textbook example of that, getting 3 of the top 12. If even 1 or 2 of them become superstars, it works out for you. The Pacers and Pistons also, I thought they had very good drafts in the Central there. Just some teams to keep an eye on. I don't think it'll fix them this season. But as far as over-under season wins, I think those are 3 teams that should be better this year.
Talking to Steve Merrill, Wager Talk, ProSportsInfo.com. Steve, one more NBA question, then we'll move on to baseball. We had a request. What kind of moves do you see Boston making?
Yeah, I mean, they were in contention to win the title. They were up 2-1.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to win the title. Thom and I talked a lot about it here. I think he was backing them as well. I should have known that was the kiss of death once he got on board. But in all seriousness,
a New York guy going for Boston.
Well, it's funny, though, because the public was pretty heavy on Golden State the first 3 games.
Yeah.
They didn't get off, and then Boston's up 2-1. All of a sudden, people started liking the Celtics after they easily won Game 3, and that's always kind of seriously like the kiss of death. And if you had told me Curry was going to go 0 for 9 from 3 and Golden State would still win by 10,
yeah,
I would have said you're insane. And that obviously, in hindsight, was a sign that Boston was in big trouble. They didn't win again after that. But the Celtics are very close. I will say this, though, guys. Keep in mind, Chris Middleton was out in the Milwaukee series.
Yeah.
Boston's down 3-2 in that series. They don't win that series
No.
if Middleton's playing. They don't
I
come
agree
back
with you.
from 3-2. So I don't think Boston is a sure thing. I think Atlanta's better, as we've talked about. The Sixers are dicey. The Heat should be very good if they can stay healthy. That's another team. Miami in the bubble year 2020, like the Jazz and like the Nuggets, when they had that full lineup, they have a lot of talent and depth. And that's why Miami ended up kind of winning the conference by attrition. But one other team we'll talk about real quick, Memphis Grizzlies, second best record in basketball, and they played over 30 games without Ja Morant.
Yeah.
And
They're
they
like
actually had a
better.
higher win percentage in those games without Morant. So I think Morant's a real interesting guy to keep an eye on. I don't want to say he's the next James Harden.
Yeah.
Really good, athletic, offensive guy. But when you have a higher win percentage over 30-plus games without your, quote, superstar, that's a red flag for me. So we'll see what Morant does in the future. I'm not sure he's going to be the savior everybody thinks he is.
Yeah, but so just about one thing that does scare me about him is that he reminds me of vintage Derrick Rose, prime Derrick Rose, and that kind of player with that kind of aggressiveness and speed tends to be very injury prone. So
Exactly
I'm praying that doesn't happen to him because I love watching Ja play.
Fan. Coming from a Utah fan.
Yeah, no, I love the Grizzlies and Ja Morant.
Yeah.
I'm cool with it.
So we move on to our team around here, our team on the air, the Atlanta Braves, taking 2 wins so far from the Phillies. They're 21-5 in the month of June, and we're still talking about Freddie Freeman. Make it short because I have other people blasting me on Facebook because I brought up Freddie Freeman's name. But what are your thoughts on that whole situation, and how do you feel about the Braves? The replacement Braves, I guess I should say, and how do you feel about the additions that they have this season and what key pieces they're missing this season?
Well, I mean, this time last year they were below 500, right? And now they're
Correct.
12 games above 500. And so, I mean, it's like, they're fine. And the Mets have some serious injury issues still with their pitchers. I mean, DeGrom and Scherzer, you don't know if they're going to be healthy come October. Obviously, if Scherzer and DeGrom are healthy in October, I think the Mets are going to be a very tough out, even though they're maybe not the best team. Because if you've got Scherzer and DeGrom going 4 out of 7 games, they're going to win any series, basically. Or they're going to be the favorite, even over teams like the Dodgers, definitely over the Yankees. I think the Yankee pitching is a bit suspect. They're getting it done with offense. And, I talk about defense wins championships. Pitching is defense. And that's the one sport. Goaltending in hockey and pitching in baseball can win these 7-game series. And so, you question the Braves also. They, free. They got some guys, but I'm not sure they've got the pitching that the Mets or the Dodgers have. So that could be a little bit of a trouble for them. But then again, they had a 3-1 lead 2 years ago. Should have been in the World Series. They got the World Series last year. They're 12 games above 500. They're right where they need to be. And I think they'll probably end up winning this division unless the Mets get healthier, as they've obviously closed that gap to just 3 games now.
Right. And when I look at this Braves team and I do like, they're a team that obviously Brian Snooker has said they pride themselves on hitting home runs. And, obviously that had huge success during the playoff run. So, and in the World Series. So I think when you're looking at Dansby Swanson, would you have rather had gone long-term with a Dansby Swanson, or would you have rather kept Freddie?
Well, I think Freeman, obviously, there's a real intangible there. There's only a handful of guys, and a lot of talk yesterday about all this, like Jeter, Gwynn, Ripken, a guy I grew up watching in the D.C. area, the guys that stay with their franchise. And there is an intrinsic value to that you can't put down on paper. But in the clubhouse, obviously, that's worth some extra wins, and especially in the postseason. So I think that was something that should have been considered. I think Freeman's got plenty of years left. Most of these guys get overpaid. Whether the Braves or Dodgers had paid him, he was going to probably be overpaid for what he has remaining, in my opinion. But the Braves would have gotten some intrinsic value out of that overpayment, whereas I don't think the Dodgers do, just like Pujols when he went to the Angels, or even to the Dodgers for a little bit. It's not the same clubhouse atmosphere when you go to a new team versus being with that team for a decade or so. And, Bryce Harper wasn't quite at that level with Washington yet, where I think they should have kept him. And by the way, the Phillies vastly overpaid for Harper. I said that instantly.
Yeah.
No position player is worth that kind of money, not even Mike Trout.
I totally agree with you.
Trout have had injuries. And that's assuming they stay 100% healthy, right, and play at that level, which neither one is going to happen. You got to have pitchers, and you just can't pay a position player that much because it eats up your roster to get pitchers.
So one more baseball question, then we'll get to NASCAR. Tom's Yankees going against the Astros. The line is minus 125 for New York. The over-under 7.5. Isn't this the same team that got no hit by the same Astros? What are your thoughts on the Yankees? Like you said, they're pitching and everything like that, but what are your thoughts on them as well?
Well, they're due to cool off at some point. I mean, the first thing I'm looking at is just win percentage on the season. This team is now 56-20. That's a 737 win percentage, which over 162 games would equate to 119 wins. They were on a pace to win 121 a week ago. They're going to get to like 110 at most. So they're going to cool off at some point. But even when they cool off, as you guys know, they could still win 60% of their games, right, and still hit 110. So it's a tough team to fade. I don't think you're going to make a lot of money backing them the rest of the season because you're going to be paying such an extreme premium. Obviously, this is one of the most competitive series they're going to have in a while. even when they got no hit last Saturday, the Astros didn't exactly smack the ball. The Astros only had 8 hits and 3 runs in that game. And Houston has actually now had 8 hits or less in 4 of their last 5 games. The Yankees have now had single-digit hits in 10 straight, I believe. 10 straight games, the Yankees have had single-digit hits. So they've really cooled off offensively, including that being no hit. They get by with big hits, though. They still scored 5 runs or more in 3 of their last 4, despite having 6 hits or less in 3 of those 4 games. So something has to give, and that's why I think they will cool off. And it looks like maybe that's beginning with the offensive momentum declining.
I had to throw the Yankees in there. This is Tom's show, so we did have, because that was going to be a question. So we definitely had to throw that in there. So moving on to NASCAR, Chase Elliott wins last week in Nashville. Great to see racing back in Nashville once again. Thoughts on him being the defending, winner here at Road America in Wisconsin? What are your thoughts on, and then him being obviously the standing points leader as well? What are your thoughts on the field for this upcoming race and the standings going forward?
Well, not only that, but he's also the best road course racer, and he won here, like you said, last year. He led about 39% of the laps. They've only raced here once, and that was last season. Christopher Bell was very strong, finished second. Bell was also good on the Roval in Charlotte or Daytona, actually, last year. Kyle Busch was third last year, Denny Hamlin fifth. So the usual suspects. Ross Chastain was seventh last year. He actually went off as the second betting favorite last week at Nashville, which is also a shorter track. So I think a lot of guys we saw do well last Sunday at Nashville. It'll continue. So Elliott in good current form, won here, best road racer. That's definitely why he's favored this week.
So I think Tom sometimes asks you a question like this. Out of all the racers that haven't won a race this year, who do you see in this race this weekend that can make a run and can possibly win?
Well, I believe there's been 12 different winners this season, and they're getting close to that 16 cutoff for the automatic bids. I don't think it'll happen. Hamlin's a guy I've been very suspect with. He got the win at my home track, Richmond, a few months ago. He didn't lead to like the final couple laps, and he hadn't even really had a top 10 until then. But he is good on these short tracks. But he's a guy I think is a little bit of a phony this year. I don't even know if I'd have to have the wins in front of me. I'm not even sure Martin Truex Jr. has won this season. I don't really track that too closely.
Zero wins, 0 poles.
Yeah, he would be definitely a suspect to consider. Gibbs Racing is going to be strong here. Kyle Busch, Hamlin, and him are all good on road courses. So yeah, Truex Jr. definitely someone that would jump out to me.
Well, thank you so much, Steve. Thank you so much for joining us. Sorry that we kind of was like a late, inform that you were coming on. I think you were already scheduled to come on anyway, but we're doing just 1 hour for the rest of the week, and then I'm taking off next week, so you may not hear from me. But it's always good to talk to you. Tell everybody where they can find your stuff and get the best.
Yeah, if anybody would like to get a free baseball best bet for tonight on Thursday, email me, mention the show at steve@prosportsinfo.com for a free best bet, steve@prosportsinfo.com. And you can follow me on wagertalk.com as well. I do numerous shows, including one tomorrow afternoon, also a baseball show tomorrow and Friday, and that's on Wager Talk TV on YouTube and wagertalk.com.
You're like one of the best, man. Always love listening to you, man. Have a good rest of your day. Thanks so much. Have a good weekend.
Thanks, guys.
All right, that was Steve Merrill. Does a great job. Wager Talk and prosportsinfo.com. We're going to get a break. We'll be right back on the other side on the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
The world champs are back. The Braves are out to defend their world championship. And behind Matt Olson, Ronald Acuna, Dansby Swanson, Max Fried, and this loaded 2022 roster, a repeat is within reach.
There goes Ozzie. 2-2 on the way. Hit well. Deep center field. Might have ourselves a tie ball game. You betcha.
And we'll bring you every huge moment of the Braves 2022 season right here on the Atlanta Braves Radio Network.
Did you know Kohl's has beyond epic deals just in time for 4th of July fun? I just got buy one, get one for $1 Jumping Beans Kids Finds, shorts for less than $18, and swimsuits for just $17.99. The best part? I didn't need any coupons, earned Kohl's Cash, and got free store pickup. So yeah, run to Kohl's. Select styles. Sale ends July 4th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohls.com for details.
If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com.
What's better than Valley Equipment Rental? 2 Valley Equipment Rentals, and that's just what we have now. The original on the South Memorial Parkway between Drake and Airport Road, and their second location on North Memorial Parkway just north of Winchester Road. Valley Equipment is locally owned and has more skid steers, excavators, and lifts than anyone in the area, plus all the small tools that you need to get the job done like a pro. And if you are a pro, you need to check out the new North location now because Valley Equipment has what you need. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com.
When our lives were interrupted, Madison Academy immediately began distance learning instruction thanks to our Apple device program and a well-prepared faculty.
When our success in athletics led to a new competitive balance rule, Madison Academy was prepared to face the new challenges head-on.
We understand a thing or two about winning, and it always begins with preparation. Learn how our balanced approach to learning prepares the mind, body, and soul. Visit our website at macademy.org to learn more. Strong minds, strong faith. That's Madison Academy.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Tired of the same old menu options everywhere you go? Then you need to try Metro Diner in Huntsville and Madison. The award-winning Metro Diner serves up signature dishes like their Charleston shrimp and grits, famous fried chicken and waffles with strawberry butter, and lots more. Their entire menu is available anytime, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And stop by for brunch on Saturday or Sunday and enjoy the lowest price mimosas in town. Airport Road, Huntsville, and Highway 72 in Madison. In diner or at home, make it Metro Diner.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny to mostly cloudy sky this afternoon. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are possible across all of North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee, especially through the heart of the afternoon, early into the evening. Some of those thunderstorms could pack a bit of a punch, some heavy rain, some gusty winds, and some frequent lightning. Otherwise, temperatures climbing into the upper 80s and lower 90s, dropping into the upper 60s, lower 70s as we head into the overnight. We're essentially going to repeat this process as we head into the final day of the work week and the beginning of a long weekend. Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Paul Feinbaum. Listen to me coming up today at 2. Now back to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Welcome back to the Thom Abraham Show. Sorry, I had to re-import the log, so we didn't have Sweet Home Alabama to start the show. So we had to get everything ready for the Braves tonight. Of course, you can listen to Chuck Oliver right after the show. And then you can listen to Paul Feinbaum. If you have SEC Network, you can watch Paul Feinbaum, but you can listen to it on our air. And then you can also listen to The Drive and watch it on, you can listen/watch it on our YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch, which we are all live on all of our shows tonight from 5 to 6 with Drew DeArmond and Steve Moulton as they are Baumhauer's Victory Grill tonight. Tomorrow, we've got Metro Diner on the half-off deal. Not half-off deals, half-off deal. So check out that. Starts at 8 o'clock. Sure, it'll go immediately. If you're on the email list, you're going to get an email about it like almost right before. If not, I think it's, I don't know when they do it, but I know that you get an alert before a lot of other people. So if you are a part of the email list, once you buy one, you're a part of it. So I believe you can just check a box and says, hey, I want future, information on stuff like this. So go to wzzn.halfoffdeal.com to get a great deal. We've destroyed this month Bubbies, Flow, Bad Daddies, and then now we're going to get Metro. I mean, if you're a local business and you want to do it the best way possible and help people out there save some money, especially with everything that's going on, great way to get a deal. So go to that, please. All right. Thank you so much for letting us take over tonight. The Braves, right after the drive. Check it out. Thank you so much to Steve Merrill being on the show with us. We may do a show tomorrow. You guys want to do a show tomorrow? If not, we'll see how we feel. If not, we're going to do a best of for Friday. We won't be here Monday. And listen to us on Saturday as well. So we'll be right back. Or no, we won't be right back. We're out of here. We're totally out of here. What am I talking about? I'll be right back. But we're out of here. Everyone have a great rest of your day. This is Chad Gwathney, John Abraham, Bailey Lowry, taking over the Thom Abraham Show right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.